Now, with the season over, we can kind of reflect on some of the players that outperformed their ranking coming into the season. We had a lot of players on offense do that.
And I'm totally excited by it,
One honorable mention, in my opinion, is Rashad Bateman. But I want to get down to the two players that, without a doubt, exceed expectations and had the most outsized impact on the offense. So we're going to start with first. Number one is Justice Hill.
You did not disappoint.
Justice Hill had an excellent season as a number 2 back. And I think toward the end of the season, we could have used him more in some spots as a running back, as a pure running back. He was performing that well as a change of direction back or a change of speed back from Derrick Henry. Now, when we talk about what Justice Hill brought to the table this year that he didn't bring other years, it's super simple. He was one of the best receiving backs in the National Football League. When it comes to his ability to catch the ball, make people miss, block in the backfield, all of them improved. Not only was he able to catch the ball, he was able to make a person miss, get some extra yards. As a receiving back, that is essential to the plan. The difference between him and Derrick Henry is that when you give Derrick Henry the ball, you know for sure Derrick Henry is going to get additional yards and fall forward. However, when Justice Hill was in the game and he caught the ball, he also did the same thing. He never got tackled by the first man in the receiving game. Now, again, in the running game, he wasn't as good, but that's why he's number 2 back. We don't need him to be as.
We don't need all that.
We need him to bring a dynamic in the receiving game as a running back that is deadly and dangerous, be a security blanket for Lamar in the receiving game and in the pass blocking game, and also from now and then, when Derrick Henry is a little tired, be able to run the ball effectively. Now, we're going to talk about some of the ratings that we got from Pro Football Focus, and it's not everything, but they're so impressive, I thought I had to mention it for you. When it comes to being a running back, he was the 14th best running back in the league with a PFF grade of 79.5. That is so impressive. That means that the Ravens had 3 runners who you can argue are top 20 runners in the National Football League. You have Lamar Jackson, you have Justice Hill, and of course you have Derrick Henry. But let's add to that the 4th best receiving grade for a running back at an 89. An 89, guys, if you don't know in Pro Football Focus, is an elite grade, right? If you ever go on the website, you'll see it's blue. That means it's an elite grade. He had an elite season as a receiving back, and we saw that. We really did, especially in the red zone, where if he caught the ball in the red zone, most likely it was a touchdown. And it was just super impressive from him. It was his best season he's ever had, according to Pro Football Focus. It was the best season that I've ever seen him have. There has been seasons where he showed promise of that long speed. He's not that same long speed guy that he used to be. We have a Keaton Mitchell for that now. And he's also still not shifty in the run game yet. But in the pass game where he already has open space, he doesn't have to create it himself. He's just deadly. And I really, really did appreciate the contribution he gave us this season. And arguably, he was probably the 2nd or 3rd best player on our offense in the playoff game to the Buffalo Bills. We just couldn't sustain the game plan, but it was not his fault. He was excellent the entire game. And so that was the first one for offense. The second player I want to talk about is Isaiah Likely. And Isaiah Likely did something that was so impressive to me. He was able to dominate the game without catching the ball. And only the best tight ends in the league can do both at the highest of levels. And in today's NFL, this is a lost art because of the pass-heavy sets that most teams are playing. You can get away with it. We know, for example, Travis Kelce, very talented, but Travis Kelce doesn't block people. But he's so great at catching the ball, and their offense is built around catching the ball that he makes it work, of course. Now, the Ravens are different. The Ravens love to run the ball. We have a quarterback who is great at running it. We have running backs who are great at running the ball. So because of all this talent, we do need a tight end who not only can block in line, but can be a lead blocker on some of these trickier plays where we have motions and reads. And he was able to do it at the highest of levels this season. But again, he also has 2 other tools that are invaluable. One, he runs routes almost like a receiver, and I would say it's pretty dang close. You can't really even tell. He's that good at finding space against man coverage. He's not the best at the zone coverage yet. That's still Mark Andrews. When it comes to man coverage, he's almost unguardable because of that mismatch he has. He's too big for the corners and is too quick for the safeties in the linebacker.
You really can't guard me, bro.
In addition to that, his run after catch ability is elite for a tight end. He's able to do things from a power standpoint. We saw the stiff arm that he delivered to the Steelers in the playoff game. We also know that he's done other great things in terms of agility and making people miss. He's just an excellent player and has the ability to do so many different things at a high level. He becomes a tool within the offense itself. And the only reason I think he didn't really take the league by storm and become a household name is because we have so many weapons on our offense that he kind of had to fit in and really was like the fourth or fifth weapon on the offense, which is insane to say. But let's look at some of his numbers from Pro Football Focus. You can see when it comes to being a tight end, he received the 7th best tight end grade in the entire NFL with a grade of 79.5. Now remember, he achieved this grade with less opportunities because he already had a tight end on the team who was the number one tight end on the team. Other teams also are pass heavy and their tight ends kind of get a bump from that. This team is not pass heavy. Derrick Henry gets the ball. Of course, we have Lamar Jackson that gets the ball. Then after Lamar Jackson, we still may run it with Justice Hill every now and then. But then, of course, you throw the ball and you'll throw it to Zay Flowers. We haven't even gotten to the tight end position yet. Then it goes to Mark Andrews. After that, it goes to Isaiah Likely. And then he still was able to make an impact on games, on people grading it, and on me. And so I think he's also made an impact on Ravens fans. I really do think he deserves more shine. And I also think he deserves a larger role next year. I think next year we got to make him the number one tight end in terms of receiving, in terms of pass attempts. We got to find a way to get him the ball as much as possible. And I think that will have large benefits for the Ravens and the Ravens offense and hopefully the Ravens' chances of winning the Super Bowl. So thank you guys for watching. I want you to let me know who you think overachieved in the comments. I, without a doubt, think these two are number 1 and 2. But I wanted to let you guys let me know if I missed somebody. Again, there are some great options when it comes to overachieving. And I went based on, the reputation and the expectation, as well as the actual scores that a lot of places put into account. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks, and go Ravens.